Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with podcast number 89. Today we have the 5 investor questions that were sent in from investors like yourself who had a question and needed an answer. Remember, if you have a question, send it to support@bsffacademy.com. One more time, support@bsffacademy.com. Here we go. Question number 1. I already have a website called alexbuyshousesdfw.com, and it's hosted by GoDaddy. Is this a good website name for marketing to distressed sellers in my area? Or do you have some suggestions or alternative names? Well, I would rather, if it's available, always start out with I Buy Houses and then do the DFW. If that's available, that's the one I would want. Because we always want to tell people we buy houses, not the we part, but the I buy houses part. And, following it by your local area, that's great. So I don't know what DFW stands for, but if it's taken, as a city, county, whatever. So I would start it off as I buy houses because that's what people are going to see. They really don't need to see your name, your Alex name. Although I think Alex is a great name for marketing. As you guys know, I use Alex as the inbound first tier call receptionist. Other than that, it's fine. There's nothing really broken with the name. If you're asking me, should you keep it or change it? If iBuyHousesDFW.com is available, grab it. Use both of them. You can forward with masking so no one really knows. So, fall forward. Question number 2. Which business name should I use on a website? The DBA I Buy Houses name or a real business name? No business name goes on a website. All that goes on a website is I Buy Houses. If you have a logo, fine. If you don't have a logo, fine. And don't need a logo. It's not required. And all people want to know is that there's someone that's going to buy their house, okay? That's all that is. It's as simple as that. Question number 3. How many incoming calls do you get that equates to you doing a deal? Wow. Keep in mind, I mail out a lot of mail, gals. So I get a lot of phone calls. Here's what I know. I'm going to spend $2,800 in mail product to get a deal. That's the number at the end of the day that it filters down to. And so you can kind of use that same kind of number. Now, you're going to get probably a better deal than I do because you're going to go knock on doors. And keep in mind that I'm answering the phone and, or Alex is answering the phone, going through a script. Ryan's going through a script, making an offer. We're never seeing the customer. So I know that I'm blowing through opportunity because of my systemization of never wanting to knock on a door and see a customer. So if you knock on the door and you make that presentation and you say, thank you for inviting me out to buy your house today, is where I'm parked okay, and you go through all the embedded commands and mimicking, pacing, neurolinguistics, positive, negative reinforcements, all that kind of good stuff, then you're going to get a better rate than I am. But here's but my model is built around low-hanging fruit, people that want to sell a house. It's not built around nurturing or a conversion of a relationship. So just understand that. But, the reality of it is if I was knocking on doors, I would probably, if I sent out 1,000, 1,500 pieces a month and had a follow through system. So I was calling them at 15, 30, 60, 90. I was emailing them as much as I could. I was texting them as much as I could. I was following up, but not being the stalker kind of follow-up. And then I know I'd have enough to do a deal with that. I'd want to do more because a deal, and those of you that have started doing your deals, you understand that a deal just doesn't take that long. I mean, it's like a lot of waiting to get to that deal. So I would want to do more marketing. Marketing is the key to success. I mean, it's plain and simple. But yeah, for me, it's $2,800. And I think that, if we're doing postcards, I think that's somewhere 3,000 postcards or so, or 3,500, whatever the rates are. And less if it's yellow letters, and yellow letters are going to produce more call volume than postcards, so it's all relative. But great question. Don't be afraid. I hope the question isn't, do I have enough money to do a deal with marketing? Because you can get deals without spending money on marketing. You can just go out there and, say hello to everybody that you know and everybody that walking around on two legs and in chairs and that kind of stuff. If you don't have any marketing dollars for marketing, and then after you do a couple deals that way, then you'll have some money for marketing. And one of the nice things about real estate investing, especially if this is a secondary position that you're wanting to make primary, is you probably don't have to spend the profit to live on. Where some people, because it's their primary, they have to spend part of the profit to live on. But if it's secondary, hold back some of that stuff. Don't spend it. Just spend it on marketing, and then you'll fall forward. You'll become a guerrilla investor.
Thanks for listening to Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started, and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 4. What is the ratio of incoming calls from your direct marketing in relationship to deals bought? I would love to know that number. Out the top of my head, I'd love to know that number. I just don't know the number. I apologize. I know when we sent out 80,000 pieces of mail, that got us 30 contracts. So I guess you could do the numbers there. We had well over 1,000 phone calls from that. I think it was like we had, and don't hold me to these numbers because this is just what I remember the person who does all of our numbers for us telling me. I think we got a 1.56 average on all of our mail pieces across the board. Some of them produce less, some of them produce more, but on the average 1.56. We sent out 80,000 of them, so I don't know, whatever that number is. So if 80 times 1.5 would be 1,200 phone calls, and then 6 on the 80,000 would be another 48. So probably at 1,248 phone calls, looks like it must have been. I know that we had, at that number, we had 660 people that wanted us to buy their house, and we contracted 30 of them. So, 630 are still in our pipeline, our funnel, so to speak, and we're still nurturing those on follow up and follow through. So some of those are going to fall down. I hear it every day out there. And so yeah, I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that answers the question. I've been saying I'm going to get cameras and put out there so you guys could actually see it online live and how it works and what we do and get a big kick and laugh at us. But I haven't done it yet. But one of these days, everything's going to be automated. So those of you that want to learn how to buy houses in massive ways can do it. I mean, I set my sights too short this year when I said I wanted to buy 200 because I was thinking about the old days of, the brick and mortar knocking on doors and, I could only do 200 that way. But I bet if I was honest with myself, I bet that I could see closer to 1,000 than 200. So we'll find out what we end up doing by the end of a full year of doing what we're doing. And it'll be fun. Question number 5. You mentioned you were expanding your list addresses to over 600,000. Does that mean you're going to mail to all of those addresses? If so, how many times will you mail to each one? Yes, it means it's actually 660. And we have a reason behind it, and it's a complicated and somewhat proprietary reason behind it, but I can share the 660. And we are going to mail to those people 4 times. So at that mass kinds of mailing, we're going to hit folks in cities where the city, and I'll share a little bit of it. I hope I don't share too much. Sometimes I like to share more than I should. But we're going to hit folks in a city that has 200 population base or greater. And that city, if you look at a bell curve, that city has to be coming out of the bottom of the bell. So as it's starting to, it was up on the mountain, prices where they fell down to the bottom of the mountain, and they're starting to climb the second mountain. Right as they start climbing that second mountain, those are the cities that we're going to start hitting. And because that tells us that's where the growth is, because you don't have little mini climbs and descends. So we know that that's going to climb up again, and it's going to peak probably at the same peak it was, if not a little bit more, when it fell the first time. So again, we want to find the houses that are in the population base of 200,000 or greater, and that are on the bottom of the bell curve, just coming out of the bell. And we're going to hit 660,000 of them. So basically, it's a 3-month mail campaign, so 220,000 a month, which still, if you think about it, is a bucket load of mail. It's 10,000 pieces a day. And we know with the staff that we have now, everybody's going to be bald because they're going to be pulling their hair out. I don't have to pull my hair out because it doesn't grow anyway. But it's going to be fun. And you're going to hear more daily deals, and you're going to hear everybody around here just excited. And when we get it to the position where we're doing, and we would believe at that point, and that's going to come soon, that the daily deal will be daily deals, not just a deal a day. So it would be nice to get 20 deals a week. And I don't see any sign that, in any indication that that's not possible. So all it is a matter of having systemization, which we have, and then falling forward. If anybody wants to chat about that offline, give me a holler, send me an email or what have you. We know without a doubt that we're going to create relationships with folks in local areas who want to systemize or have a systemized approach to business, but don't necessarily want to be real estate investors. You know, it's fun knocking on doors and making presentations, but the reality is if you have a system-based business, it's a marketing business first, and then it understands how to buy houses, you can let the systems buy the house. You don't necessarily need to know how to buy the house, as long and the return is the return. I am sure I said too much on question number 5, but I try to be as honest as I can with you folks. I think that's why I do these things. There's not, no holds barred. That's maybe what I should have called it. Probably somebody else already has a name. Hey, and I appreciate the 2 people that went on to iTunes yesterday and gave me some reviews. I think I'm now only 161 short of 200, and I'd like to get at least 200 of them, and I'd like to have that done by the end of 45 days. So you can do the numbers. I need 3 or 4 of you a day doing that for me, and I'll keep plugging away at these questions for you guys. I know we're posting another daily deal today, and we've got a great podcast tomorrow where I'm talking to a guy that is just killing it in the land business, and there's some of you that wanted to get in the land business, and this guy's a good show for that. And so we're trying to bring you stuff, and that'll help. And I'm just rambling on. I apologize. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks so much. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.